Welcome to the Emily Otto Show, business and lifestyle mentorship for rebel healers, priestesses, witches, and wild women. This podcast will give you the tools and inspiration to help you build and scale your online and in-person healing business so you can help more people and make more money. My goal is for you to thoroughly enjoy your life and business with plenty of time for pleasure and play. I am over the moon delighted that you're here. Let's start today's episode. I am so excited to announce the Rebel Business Collective. This is my monthly group membership program, and I am so freaking stoked for it because I'm giving you access to me with live group coaching every month, really juicy, super impactful training so that you can get what you need, and access to my exceptional video programs. So let me tell you all about it and make an official invitation to you to join this brand new membership program. So this is the Rebel Business Collective, and it's a membership program to help you activate your rich witch business so that you can grow, scale, and nail your content and sales with oodles of pleasure and joy. You'll get monthly group coaching calls from noon to 1 p.m. EST on the second Wednesday of the month, monthly training and a mini Q&A session, noon to 1 p.m. EST the fourth Thursday of the month, an all-access pass to every full moon Rebel ecstatic dance party, and my all-access pass to the Nail Your Content and Connect with Clients program suite. That includes Connect to Paying Clients, Create Your Signature Offer That Sells, The Rich Witch's Guide to the Universe, Charm Clients In, Charming Your Clients Masterclass, and my Uplevel Your Business program. That is well over $500 in programs, immediate access just for joining. And then you'll get access to all prior training and Q&A call recordings that have happened as part of the Rebel Business Collective. This program is a month-to-month membership. Join anytime, hop out at any time, but you're going to want to stay and buckle up for this one because it is rocket fuel for wild, witchy healers in business. It's just $97 a month. That's it. If you've been watching and waiting and wondering when I was going to release the right program for you at the right time, this is it. Head over to my website or go to my Instagram profile and you can get the direct link in my link tree and get your cute butt over to the Rebel Business Collective and invest in yourself and your beautiful work in the world for just $97 a month. I'll see you there. All right. Yay. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Emily Otto Show. I am here with the fabulous Randi, and I'm really excited to get to talk to her today about all of the amazing things that she does, how she does it, why she does it, and also give you kind of, a behind the scenes view of her business and what's happening and all of the juice. Would you mind introducing yourself and telling people how they can find you, where they can connect with you?
Absolutely. So my name is Randi Robbins. I am a therapist turned polyamory coach. I have a website which has blogs and tools and other information about me, randirobbins.com. I'm on TikTok and Instagram under Randi Robbins LLC. And I have a Facebook group called Find Your Way, Polyamory Education and Support. Anyone is welcome to join.
That's amazing. Especially, I love that you have a Facebook group, especially. That was one of the first places as someone who also identifies as polyamorous, where I felt like I could actually talk about what I was feeling and exploring. And there's a really great West Michigan polyamorous group on Facebook where people could actually have conversations and not feel like they were being judged or they were the weird one or anything like that. How did you tell me a little bit about your journey and how you decided to kind of go from like therapist to polyamory coach?
Yeah, so I've been practicing polyamory like my whole adult life. And uh, so that's really been a big part of my life, obviously, right? So in my work as a therapist, I have put myself out there as being friendly to polyamorous people, being knowledgeable about it. And a lot of the time, like I get people coming in, and honestly, I've experienced this myself saying that, other people, they didn't feel like they could go to other therapists for help because they didn't know if they'd be accepting, or they've gone to therapists and that therapist said something ignorant and hurtful. Um, and yeah, that really makes me sad. And
Yeah.
yeah, so I really wanted to give back to the community on a bigger scale. Coaching is something that I can do regardless of where the person is, and it really opens up the options for the kinds of work that I can do with people. And so I'm really excited to be broadening my work this way and serving my community.
I love that. And yeah, I always felt sad for anybody who claims a marginalized identity of any nature, whether that's queer or pansexual or polyamorous, and you go seeking help, right? And then you're trying to be supported by what is usually a well-intentioned human, but then there's like residual trauma or additional pain or hurt or disappointment caused because they can't identify. Or I love your word about ignorance, because I think most of the time it's not intentional harm, but it's also not helpful as the polyamorous or queer human trying to get support. um, yeah, so I think that's really needed. I've been there and I get it, and I've been practicing polyamory my whole adult life, so yeah, I can help you with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hmm. So I think a big part of your work that's really been so beautiful to watch you pull out through like your sales page and through the work in the Rebel Mastermind has been your deep belief that people get to do their life their way and on their terms. And it really feels like a very strong core value of yours. I'd love to hear more about why. Like, why does that matter so much? And especially like to you and alongside polyamory.
Yeah. So personally, kind of throughout my life, I grew up feeling like a misfit in a lot of ways, just not quite fitting right, being kind of counter to some of what was going on around me. And moving into polyamory, you kind of continue to be that way. There's a growing movement for acceptance and visibility, and that's wonderful. But it's still very much a uh, young movement.
Yeah.
Um, so there's that passion for me personally of like, I want to live a life that is meaningful and satisfying to me. And then professionally, I've seen over and over again people who come in and say, oh, I should be doing this, I should be doing that. What's wrong with me for not being this way or for because I am that way? And a lot of the time, there's no good reason. Like the reason is that someone who does not have their best interests at heart told them this, right? Maybe it was hurtful family members who had their own agendas. Maybe it's a religion that they grew up in. Maybe it's just the overall societal pressure and the various toxic messages that we get that really put these messages in us sell us things to get us to buy razors to shave or
Yeah.
whatever it is. They tell us that we're not good enough, that what we want is wrong, and that
Mm.
we should buy into something else. But that's to me, that's not what life is about, right? Like why be here and have this experience if you're going to live it the way someone else wants you to live it, and that doesn't make you happy and maybe even makes you miserable.
Hmm.
I love that. And so your work is really taking a stand for people doing their lives on their terms.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I really want to help people feel the power to do, is to help them figure out, first of all, like what is it that they even want? Because sometimes we have all of these messages bombarding us, and it's hard to figure out, like, okay, what do I actually want versus what do I think I should want?
Yeah. That's a big one. What would you say for someone trying to figure out, wait, what do I want? Like, I know this isn't it, but what do I want? What's the first step to identifying what you want when you've got this system of capitalism and patriarchy, and then friends and family who may not have your best interests at heart? Like, where do we even start with the concept, what do I want?
Yeah. I think that there are two ways that I like to get at that. One is figuring out like what feels bad. You know, what are
Mm,
the things that you're not happy with right now? What's not working for you?
totally.
Uh, what have you tried that has not been pleasurable? And then on the other side of that, what feels good? Where are the moments that you have, had some kind of joy? Where have you had success? Or even if you haven't experienced it yourself, like what do you see in other people and books and movies, whatever, where it's like, oh, that interests me. Maybe I'm afraid of it. Maybe like I feel shame or guilt for wanting it, but like I'm interested. And that gives
Mm.
us a place to start.
I love that. I love the assessment. And I love how much our work overlaps in the structure of I generally try to help people figure out, well, what kind of services or program do you want to offer? What would you absolutely despise doing, right? Because some people love one-on-one calls. Some people love group experiences. Some people want nothing more to do than, an evergreen downloadable program where they never really have to interact with other humans. Um, and we get to have our businesses our way. We get to have our lives our way, and trusting that, yeah, it's our life. It's this wild and precious and beautiful and amazing thing that is ours. And how do we make it something that we want it to be? So I know you have a really cool new thing out there for people to help them figure out the next steps forward. Can you tell us a little more about that?
Yeah, so I just put up on my website a nice little ebook that I've been working on for a while. And this is it's called Mini Loves, a guided polyamory journal.
Hmm.
And I really enjoy this as a way of first reflecting on like what the individual feels, right? Like what I feel about relationships, what I feel about polyamory, like how I feel cared for, what's important to me. Um, a whole bunch of things that are really good for anyone to know about relationships, but there's like polyamory specific stuff in there too. And so this is great to go through as an individual, but then also like it's great for someone to go through with, maybe they're a couple that is considering starting a polyamorous journey. Maybe they would both want to do it and then come together to discuss their answers.
Hmm.
Maybe it's someone who's already polyamorous, but like is wanting to learn more about themselves and their partners and continue to fine tune their relationships.
Hmm.
Um, so I think it could be a really useful tool for people for doing that inner work and noticing things that sometimes we just kind of take for granted. Like we're used to seeing things through our own filters. Uh,
Totally.
and that's our normal. So we don't always slow down to think like, oh, do I need to communicate this to someone?
That has been my journey lately, in intimacy coaching, of letting my husband into my process instead of waiting to create the finished product and decide. That's a big deal. And it doesn't sound like it, but it's a big deal,
Yeah, we live inside our own heads all the time. And it's hard to remember that other people don't, and other people might see things differently.
right? It sounds so silly sometimes, but yeah, we all have such complicated, beautiful inner worlds, and nobody thinks like we do. Nobody has had the same experiences. I love that your journal is helping people pull that out too. And I love the idea of a relationship cohort or partnered couple, like going through it together, or with your different partners and figuring out, okay, what comes up for all of us. That's really neat.
Yeah, I'm excited to be able to put that out there for free and people can download it and run with it. And I'd love to hear feedback from people too about it because I'm hoping to grow it over time.
I love that. And where do people find it? How do they get a hold of it?
Yeah, it's on my website, randyrobbins.com, and it's under my tips and tools section. There's also a little free video there about relationship connection.
Awesome.
And yeah, you put in your email address. You can sign up for my newsletter or not. You don't have to. And I'll email it on over.
That's really freaking cool. And so after they get the journal, they work on the journal. It's really awesome, but they want more. How can people work with you?
Yeah, what I have on offer right now is what I'm calling my Find Your Way program. And so it's very much like what we were talking about of discovering what it is that they want and then breaking that down into real goals of like, okay, this is what you want. What are some of the ways, the waypoints for that going to look like? What are ways that we'll know that we're approaching that goal? So we identify those mini goals to the larger destination. And then we break that down even further into real concrete steps to take because it can be so overwhelming, like looking up at Mount Everest, from the bottom of it. Like, okay, this is the big lofty thing that I want, but how in the world am I going to make it all that way?
Totally. I have definitely felt that way, seeing beautiful polyamorous couples in my community. And it's like, that looks so easy. Like you make it look so easy and you're just showing up and you're loving each other and supporting each other. And like, is it that easy? Am I just doing this wrong? I think there's the sense of like, I must be doing this wrong. But then everybody does it so differently, which is why I think it's such a beautiful and important rebellious counterculture of non-monogamy and polyamory in general, of hold on, I can have what I want and they can have what they want, and we can figure out what that looks like.
Yeah, and you can make your own way. You don't have to do it the same way that anyone else did, as long as you and anyone involved is consenting and doing what feels right for them, then that's the way to go.
I love that. I love your offer. I love that the work that you're doing out in the world, because it's really, really needed, especially as more and more people. I get so many messages from folks who are like, you talked about polyamory and like me too, but from people who aren't out publicly or feel like they can't talk about it. And here is Randi, who you can talk to and get actual professional advice and support all the way through.
Yeah, that's the dream.
Awesome. All right. So share your website one more time, and then we'll put it in the show notes. If you wouldn't mind spelling out your name so people can find you.
It's a hard one. So it's randirobbins.com, RandiRobbins. I got two weird spellings in there.
I love it. And it's unique, which is great.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you so much for this conversation. I'll have all the ways you can connect with Randi in the show notes. And yeah, you get to do life and polyamory your way.
That's it for today. Share this episode with other rebel healers so they too can make more money, help more people, and fall wildly in love with their life. Join my free Facebook group at The Rebel. Leave us a review and subscribe for next week's episode. XOXO.